Pastor, pray for us.
In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Father, as we start this class, Father, we ask that you give us divine understanding in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen.
Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding in Jesus' name.
Amen.
This class shall go smoothly and there shall be no network fluctuation in Jesus' name.
Amen.
For in Jesus' name we pray.
Amen and amen. That was a good one. Keep it up. Yes, from our previous class, we talked on action of running water. And we also, please, somebody is chatting. I just saw your name now. Stop it. Ayo. You said Oyako?
Ma, it's Tommy.
Okay. Now, from previous class, it's okay. From the previous class, we talked on action of running water. We also talked on the processes of river erosion. We mentioned features that are formed by river erosion. We also talked on the energy flow of water. We explained features like delta, oxbow lake, interlocking spur, all features that are found from the upper course, middle course to the lower course of a river. Today, I'll be explaining on action of wind in the desert as they relate to the producing or features that developed by this action of wind in the desert. I want to ask you a question. What is wind? Class, what is wind?
Is air in motion.
Good. Wind
Wind is air in motion.
Very good. That's a good one. Wind is generally known as air in motion.
Motion.
Very good. Now, the content we are going to be looking at is 1, process of wind erosion. 2, features of wind erosion and their mode of formation. I repeat, we are talking on action of wind in the desert or action of wind in general, and the content is process of wind erosion, and 2, features of wind erosion and their mode of formation. Now, we are going to pick subtopic 1, which is process of wind erosion. Now, erosion takes place mainly by wind in desert areas because there is absence of water in the desert regions. And also, wind erosion involves the removal or wearing away of rock in desert by wind or blowing wind. Now, for wind to produce a feature, the energy with which it blows. Jonathan, you raise your hand. What is the problem? Jonathan.
It was a mistake.
You are not hearing me. It's a mistake. Okay.
It was a mistake.
It's all right, no problem. God bless you. Now, I said that erosion takes place mainly by winds in desert. And I also said wind erosion involves the removal or wearing away of rock in desert. Now, when you say wearing away, it means reducing the rocks, making the rocks to change from their original shape to another shape. Now, the main agent of wind erosion in the desert is 1, we have deflation, we also have abrasion, and we also have attrition. These are also known as processes of wind erosion. It means that the channel that the wind will pass through before producing another feature or a feature. For a deflation, it has to do with blowing. Abrasion has to do with blasting of the rocks on each other, while attrition has to do with the rocks rubbing on each other as they collide with one another. Let me take it again. I said processes of wind erosion. We have 1, deflation, 2, abrasion, and 3, we have attrition. I said deflation has to do with blowing of rock particles or sand particles from the floor or from one particular area to another, while abrasion has to do with smaller particles of rock blasting on each other or blasting on a bigger rock or larger rock, thereby changing the shape of that rock. We also have attrition. Attrition has to do with the rubbing of this rock particle on each other as they collide or roll. Now we are going to look at what we have on the slide. From what I just explained, I said deflation. This is the lifting and blowing away of loose sand and pebbles by wind. Deflation results in the lowering of the land surface to form large depression called deflation hollow. Now, what is deflation hollow? Deflation hollow is the hole that is produced on the Earth's surface when wind has blown from that position. After this class, I want you to do this experiment. Get sand, put it on a flat paper, try to blow the particles. The very position where the air starts from, you discover that it is eating deep. Am I communicating, class?
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. Now, as you blow it like this, you discover that the first position where the air touches will continue to shift away, and gradually a little hole will develop. That is what we call deflation hollow. While the next one that is known as abrasion, this is the process whereby sand particles carried by wind are used to blast or wear away rock surface, and the features that are later produced by abrasion has to do with Zugin and Yadang. Don't forget, I said abrasion has to do with blasting of smaller particles on larger particles of rock, thereby changing their original shape to another kind of rock. And what are the features that are produced by this? We have rock pedestal, we have Zugin, and we have Yadang. Now somebody is asking, what is Zugin, what is Yadang, what is rock pedestal? These are names of features that are produced in the desert by the action of wind. As we continue, you are going to see the features that are produced by this action of wind, known as abrasion, deflation, and attrition. Now, attrition, I've said it earlier, this is the process whereby wind-borne particles collide with one another, resulting in the wearing away of each other. This results in the reduce of round size of rock particles. Now, subtopic 2. We are going to look at the features that are produced now. Subtopic 2, we are going to look at features that are produced by wind erosion and their mode of formation. Don't forget, subtopic 1, we talked on the processes of wind erosion, where we have attrition, abrasion, and deflation. Now, subtopic 2, features of wind erosion and their mode of formation. What are the features that are produced by deflation, by abrasion, Now, as the wind removes or wear away rock in the desert, through the processes we have mentioned, certain features are formed. Let's pick one of the features known as rock pedestal or mushroom rock. Why do we call it rock pedestal or mushroom rock? Because the shape is like a mushroom. You know that mushroom look like an umbrella, short umbrella, whitish kind of plants that grow either on a tree or an isolated area. Some people use it to make their soup. Please, on your video, Dania can read Israel. Now, rock pedestal. The sun blasting affects the rock, thereby changing the shape of that rock from its original shape to an irregular shape or having an irregular edge. For example, if the wind, now look at this feature, look at the diagram. The initial shape of this rock pedestal is not like this. It was smooth, just like a steep rock. Now, as wind blows from this direction and then blows from the other direction, just look at the diagram I have. You will discover that the softer part of the rock eats up faster, leaving the hard band. Now, a rock automatically, like you all know from our previous class, that it has a soft layer and a hard layer. Now, in the wind, in the desert, for it to produce a feature like rock pedestal, the softer part eats up faster. All the screeds, that is the particles, fall to the ground, adding up to this band, making it to be strong. And then you see that the feature will be having an irregular shape from its initial shape. Matthew, you raised your hand. What is the problem?
No, it was a mistake. Sorry.
Why are you all making mistake raising your hand? You should be listening, not be touching everything you have there, please. Just listen, jot what you can jot. Don't forget, at the end of this class, we are going to explain the features I'm explaining now. So take it very serious. Now, the next feature we are going to talk about is zygene. Now, for zygene, these are tabular masses which have a layer of soft rock lying beneath a layer of a more resistant rock. When I say more resistant rock, I mean a hard rock. The effect of wind abrasion wear them away. Which part? That is the soft part. Leaving a ridge and a furrow landscape. Just picture your farmland where you have ridges. Now, those ridges that are standing as the hard bands are known as the zygene. But the middle, the ground, where soil have been carried from to make a ridge, that area is known as the furrow, the opening. Now, examples of where we can get zygene, we have in northern Nigerian parts, we have Kalahari Desert.
I thought you on your video because
Australia.
I was coming. This guy was
I said example of where we can get zygene is northern parts of Nigeria, Kalahari Desert, and Western Australia. Now let's try to look at how this zygene is formed. Now look at this feature. The first layer of a zygene, or the first scene of a zygene, you will see that the rocks all of them are lying vertically. Now the wind tends to affect the softer parts. Look at this diagram. This is the area where the wind blows from. And then when the softer part is eaten up, the hard ones that are here will now fall off, leaving a furrow. The difference between a zugin and a yadang, which we are going to look at, is that zugin lies horizontally while yadang lies vertically, but they are almost the same. I will take it again. I said, we are going to look at the next feature known as yadang. Yadang and zugin are almost the same because yadang, the only difference is that yadang lies vertically while zugin lies horizontally, but they are all affected by wind abrasion, that is blasting. Rock pedestal, I explained earlier, is affected by wind abrasion, that is blasting. Class, I will be asking you later. This feature is attacked by what kind of wind? Is it wind abrasion or attrition or deflation? So I have explained rock pedestal, which is affected by wind abrasion. Zugin is affected by wind abrasion. And I also said yadang is also affected by wind abrasion, where the softer part is eaten up, leaving the hard band standing. The difference between zugin and yadang is that zugin lies horizontally while yadang lies vertically. Now, let's just take a look of what we have on our slide on yadang. These are formed when bands of resistant and hard and weak rock. Weak rock is also known as soft rock when they lie parallel to the prevailing winds. Wind abrasion produces other type of ridge and furrow landscape. The soft band of rock are removed more easily into a passageways while the hard bands remain standing. Where are the areas where we can get yadang? We have Sela in central Algeria. We also have Atacama Desert in Mexico. Now look at the diagram of a yadang. You see that the diagram is not different from a yadang. That is why I told you that they are almost the same. Zugin and yadang, they are almost, in fact, they are the same. It's just that one lies vertically while the other one lies horizontally. Now let's look at the next one, known as Mesa and Butte. As a result of action of denudation, the hard top layer of rock. Why are you just going out and coming in, going out and coming in? Sit down one place now, class, please. Mesa and Butte. As a result of action of denudation, the hard top layer of rock resists agents of denudation and protect the softer layer of the rock below from being eroded. Now, if you look at a mesa, which I'll be showing you later, you discover that it is originally known as a tableland. Why? Because the surface of a mesa is flat, leaving a furrow in between them. At times, mesa may be formed in canyons region. Canyons develop in the space between mesa and butte. Denudation sometimes may reduce mesa in some areas, which means reducing the top surface, making it to be smaller. That is why you discover that it is also known as isolated fat top hill, called butte. Now they are common in Arizona region in South Africa. Now look at the future. Mesa is a Spanish word. You don't have it in your notes. Take note. Mesa is a Spanish word meaning table. Table land, flat land. Now originally the future is complete, having a hard and a soft layer. But when the softer parts are eaten up, the hard layers tend to fall. And when they fall down, you will see a space here known as a canyon, just like a deep gorge. So the larger part of the rock that is having a flat surface is known as the mesa, meaning a tableland, while the smaller part is known as butte. Now the last one I'll be explaining today is Inselberg. Inselberg, no, not the last one. Inselberg. This is a residual hill commonly found in desert region. But first, let me tell you, Inselberg is a feature of wind deflation, that is blowing. Take notes. Inselberg is a feature of wind deflation, that is blowing. Now, this is a residual hill commonly found in desert region. It usually rises obstructly from level ground and is characterized by steep slopes and round top. Inselbergs are generally believed to be remnants of hills. When you say remnants of hill, it means that the hill was initially big and later it was cut down by agent of what? Deflation, that is blowing, or abrasion, thereby reducing it to a smaller size. Now, example of where we can get Inselberg is Kalahari Desert in the northern, we also have in the northern parts of Nigeria. Very good. Somebody is with me there. Thank you. Now, look at this feature, Inselberg. We say remnants of hill. It means that the hill was bigger than this, but it was later cut down to a smaller hill. Now we have deflation hollow. Deflation hollow is also a feature of wind deflation, which involves the lifting and blowing away of loose materials from the ground. I've explained that earlier. I said you should take this experiment after the class. Try to pack soil, put on a flat surface, either a table or your notebook. Try to blow it. And when you blow it, you discover that the area where your air is meeting first will eat up, leaving a hole. Now that hole that is leaving at that area, that you see at that area, is what we call deflation hollow. Now let's look at the next one we have under deflation hollow. I'm going to show you the loose materials may be carried in the air or rolled on the ground. The movement in the air or rolling along the ground depends on the size of the material. Yes, why do I decide to read this paragraph? I decide to read it because all soil particles are not the same. Some are in pebbles while some are in boulders, meaning some are big while some are small. Some can decide to rub on each other, while some can decide to blast on each other, while some can decide to just roll on their own to give way. But they must be cut down by agents of denudation before they can produce any feature in the desert. And which of the agents of denudation? That is wind. Now, deflation also helps to lower the surface and may eventually form a depression called deflation hollow. Example of such deflation hollow is the Quatra in Egypt. We also have the Sahara Desert. Now, class, this deflation hollow can sometimes be known or called as oasis. Oasis in the desert means area where you can get water. you discover that the Shadoof and the Shanghai, some of them that travel far, they tend to carry water bottle on their camel. Eh? So when they get to the area where they will get water in the desert, that is known as deflation halo. Now, class, look at this diagram of the desert, please. All of you look at this diagram, please. Now, this is a typical area called a desert. Now, this is where deflation has taken place. That is why this part has been eaten up by action of wind deflation. Now, if you look at this area, we have water. You might be asking, why do we have water in that area and we don't have water everywhere in the desert? It is because that area is known as oasis. That place originally have rocks that can store water from underground. Just that spot.
Yes.
From what I have explained today, I think we have come to the end of our class. So I will be asking you question now. I hope you are ready to answer my question now. Matthew and others. God bless you as we discuss. What was our topic today, class?
Action of wind.
Very good, action of wind. Now the subtopics. Can you all on your video? What is the subtopic?
Processes of wind erosion.
I'm hearing you now. You say ma, you didn't talk. What is the subtopic, class, on your video?
Processes of wind erosion. Features of wind erosion and mode of formation.
Very good. I'm impressed. That's a good one. Now, identify the processes of wind erosion, class.
Abrasion,
yes.
And attrition.
Yes.
Attrition, and attrition.
Abrasion.
Yes, dear.
Abrasion, attrition,
and attrition.
Very good. Abrasion, attrition, and deflation. Now, identify at least 2 features that are produced by wind abrasion.
Mesas and Butte.
1.
Let's say this as a mushroom worms.
Inselbergs.
Ubani, I'm here, you said?
Inselbergs.
Inselberg is a feature of wind deflection. Yes, who can help us? Lily, ask this question. Name
your dongle
produced by wind abrasion.
Ma, Yadang said so, sir. I can't remember.
Very good. Yadang is one of the features. I said mention 1. Very good. Now, you use your name as me. I don't know you as me. You see, he has off his video. Now, the last question for today. Name and describe any 3 processes of wind erosion. Who will help us out? Pastor, this is your question. Where is Pastor? Pastor is not here, his network. Ashilere, name and describe 1 process of wind erosion. I'm waiting. Explain 1 process. So who will help her?
A process of what?
Wind erosion. Just explain one process of wind erosion for me. Just one. Class, when I started this class, I said we have 3 major processes of wind erosion. And I said we have abrasion, we have deflation, and we have attrition. So what is attrition? Or what is deflation?
Who does know?
Or what is abrasion? That's what I'm asking you now. Explain one.
No, before group now. Who did you take?
Very good, Umar, I can hear you.
Deflation is blowing away of loose sand by wind.
Very good. Please, can you clap for yourself? That's a very good attempt. I'm impressed. Thank you. Keep it up.
I know, but I hear us
Then
now.
Ubani that is laughing. What is attrition? You like direct question. Ubani, what is attrition?
Temporary.
Ubani, what is attrition? Oh, see your life on the screen. See yourself there. Now we have come to the end of our class. Take good care of yourself. Remember to stay safe. Stay in your house, wash your hand, and be good students. The Lord bless you in Jesus' name.
The process of using.
They have not been sent.
It's now you want to answer.
Is the process.
Please continue, yes.
Is the process of using strength or effectiveness.
Hey, this week no assignment.
Make sure you read your notes. Don't worry, I'll plead with Mr. Jude. He's going to send the notes to you. So you have to tell him thank you. Thank you for having a nice class. Let's pray. Father, we thank you for this class. Your presence will continue to be with us. Release wisdom, knowledge, and retentive memory upon us in Jesus' name. For in Jesus' mighty name we have prayed.
Amen.